Hello, beautiful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining in. So today, as always, we're going to focus on the foundation of breathing, how beautiful breath is, and also a lovely posture, meaning that we are expanding and feeling the support that is all around us. And we're also going to smile. Always helps all movement. So first things first, I'm going to introduce you to my assistant today. Some of you may have met my buddy Andy. This is Andy, my teaching friend. And Andy's going to help show us a few things about movement of the skull versus the neck, and also help with a little bit of a demonstration about breathing. But first, let's get into put on our beautiful spines and get a little bit of breath flowing. So Andy's just going to rest on the side here a little bit. All right. So first, wherever we are, let's place our feet and feel our feet. Feel our feet. We want to really feel our bodies. Often we get caught up in so many things we forget to feel and listen to the quiet messages that our body is always giving us, and also the sensory input. And especially in times of stress and tension, what happens? We tend to contract, we tend to get smaller, we stop breathing, and all of the work that we're doing in these little sessions is to counteract those things. So when we can come into a looser, more expanded body and include multidimensional breathing, we're going to have more resources and a better outlook on everything. Plus, we're going to be more pleasant to be around, and we can share that information with others, even by our presence. So we're going to bring ourselves to our full height, feeling our feet on the ground, feeling our sit bones on the chair, and you can even tap the top of your head and imagine that you have a little hook and a string that's going to lift you up to create some decompression in your spine, already creating some lightness, and smile. And thank you for the little heart comments. They make me smile automatically. And let's just gently loosen up our shoulders, just lightly. And remember, in these little sessions, we're going for ease. We want to feel comfortable before, during, and after. Feel how it's nice to inhale as the shoulders rise and nice to exhale as the shoulders fall. We're letting the breath stay natural and spontaneous. And one more time, let's inhale. And when the shoulders fall, let us sigh. That was nice. Let's do one more time. This time, let's bring the shoulders together in front. Exhale. Inhale, shoulders rise. They roll back and All right, and see how that feels. Okay. So Andy is going to come and we're going to do a little breathing visual aid first. So you can see Andy's chest and rib cage, and I want you to imagine that inside we have the heart behind the breastplate or the sternum, and we also have two sets of lungs, one set on the right, one set on the left. An important breathing muscle is the diaphragm, and that is actually attached all the way along the bottom of the ribs, all the way around to the back, even into the spine. You can even gently palpate that on yourself, just feeling the same place. And then we obviously know where our ribs are, or let's not be obvious. Let's just touch them and go, yes, ribs, thank you, hello. And feel the collarbones, another important landmark, the curvy collarbones. And then the shoulder blades, these beautiful flat bones. You can feel them by lifting up and down. Some of you may be able to touch and feel them. My arms are a bit short, so I use my imagination more. And let's just find out what happens on the inside when we're breathing. Some of you have done the breathing points spots with me, and this will help illustrate them even more. So when we breathe, this action happens in the sternum. So when we inhale, the sternum actually fans forward. The only place the shoulder girdle is actually attached to the spine is right here, where the collarbones touch the sternum at the base of the throat. So inhaling, we've got this action. Exhaling, there's a relaxation. Inhaling, maybe you feel your mirror neurons are saying, ooh, yeah, I can feel that. You could even put your hand here and feel the breath. See, feel, listen, and use your kinesthetic sense. Inhaling. Okay, what else is happening? We also have the movement at the sides. I can only show you on one side, but as we inhale, the ribs fan out. They're like the handles of a pail. So the handle of a pail can be flat, or it can fan out and have a little bit of a distance. So this is happening on both sides, inhaling. And when we put our hands at the sides of our rib cage, this is what we're looking for. It's not magic. What it is tuning into the natural, spontaneous law of respiration. So that's happening in our ribs. Okay, we also have in our back, because we tend to think mostly about our front, but the lungs actually are very close to touching the back of the body. So we've got the shoulder blades might lift and spread a little bit, and we've got this sense of the back expands and the back comes in, and at the same time the back fans and then comes in. The back of the ribs fan and come in, and the back of the ribs fan and come in. And then we also have the expansion of the lungs going downwards and upwards, because what are they if not balloons inside the rib cage? So this muscle, the diaphragm, is going to do this as we inhale, and it's going to do this as we exhale. It's going to do this as we inhale, upwards. Now, this is where it would be nice to be Shiva with all those arms, or one of the other deities with extra arms. We also have, if you can see my fingers coming up, the lungs actually will peak up. Can you see my little fingers peeking up here? Just above the top collarbone, you're going to get, as the diaphragm moves down, you're going to get the lungs just peeking up, and then relaxing down. So that's the filling up. And at the same time, oh, maybe I can do this. This is the inhalation, and then exhaling, the top and bottom come together. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, and then of course, all of those things are happening at the same time. So I'm going to rest Andy for a moment, and let's quickly review that, because you've picked up more than you might even imagine by listening. I'm going to slide back a little bit. We're already beautifully tall. And when we place our hands on our belly, that's such an iconic yoga breathing or Pilates or somatic breathing position, what we're indicating is that we are connecting to the fact that our diaphragm goes down, and that's what makes the belly fill. Now that you know it also goes up, see if you can see it rising up into the throat, and we're resting our hands to help us remember, literally put the pieces together, to put the members of our body together in a whole. Inhaling and relaxing on the exhale. You're welcome to sigh, because sighing clears the field. It lets out more old air, and then it allows us to take in more new energy and more new information. Okay, so that's the belly, and it's also the up and the down. Now let's touch the sides of the ribs in whatever way is comfortable for you. Could be the backs of the hands, could be the thumb and index finger. And as you inhale, imagine the ribs fanning out. So you get a lovely width and spread. Sigh it out if you like. That's optional. You can breathe out through the nose, but we're inhaling through the nose. One more time. And then let's swing around to the back and touching the back wherever you can. If you're more comfortable touching lower, it will still direct your energy into the area we want. Technically, we're kind of feeling into the back of the lungs. So soften inside, stay tall, and as you inhale, try to widen. Imagine the widening. It's naturally happening. Really, we're not making it happening. We're just connecting the radio station to that particular transmission. And I'm going to wager that your body is going, yeah, thank you, this is so cool. I've been waiting for you to ask. So it happens quite naturally because it is a law of nature. And then we also had the sternum. So remember, that's this kind of movement. And you might feel a plumping, even the collarbones expanding a little bit. So even resting the hands lightly, just over touching the collarbones in the upper chest. Now we direct our awareness here. So we're using our breath and our mind gently directing, not bossing the events, but gently directing our focus, which is one of the loveliest uses of the mind, to supervise but not to take over. And we're loosening up anything that's gotten tight. Remember, tension and anxiety and stress create constriction, tightening down. They affect our breathing. And we want to open those places back up because we need to find ways to resource stability, ease, and safety from within. We're not always going to get them from the outside. We never have. Now, less than we even imagined we were getting them. So we're learning here in all kinds of different ways from the many offerings that are being shared over the internet now, techniques to help us in difficult times. Okay, and just sit and let all of those places expand in all those multi-directions. So expanding sideways, front and back, up and down. See if you can feel them all massaging you from the inside. Notice your mood, notice your breath. Now Andy's going to return for one more demonstration, and this is going to be how to free the skull at the top of the neck. Any of you there have neck tightness, shoulder problems, or we move our necks around and we feel our neck muscles. There's a way of creating space where the skull joins the top of the spine and creating a decompression there. So Andy's going to show you the back of his skull because it's really visible. So you can feel this on yourself, but there's one knob right at the base of the skull behind one ear and the other knob on the other side. So from a side view, literally it's here. And Andy's rather heavy, so I can just hold him here and he's going to hang. And just for a laugh, Andy's working from home, so Andy didn't put any pants on. But hey, Andy's allowed. So these two bones at the back here, and this is what we lift up a little bit, and then the spine can just drape down. Instead of having to hold ourselves up from the bottom, which often compresses our joints, and again, compression, contraction, that happens in times of stress, we're creating a physical field and a sensory field that matches up with relaxation, ease, creativity, and also loving kindness. So let's find those bones at the base of our own skulls. So just feeling behind the ears, not hard to feel. They're like little knobs. They're like the feet of your skull. And touch them with any finger. Sorry about the bop there. Just press up lightly. Press up lightly without straining your shoulders, but giving yourself a sense that the head is taking its weight off the neck. And now some gentle movements, because when we release the compression where the skull joins the top of the spine, we might well find that There's more ease when we rotate our skull from side to side. There's also more ease when we lower one ear to the shoulder and come back up. And there's also more space and ease when we lower the chin to the chest and open the throat. And any of you who experience those Rice Krispies when you move your neck, you may find that, oh my gosh, there are none or fewer. Now, using our muscle memory, just remove the fingers and keep that lovely floating feeling at the top of the head. Feel your breath, and we're going to finish today's tutorial with a little bit of application into a simple standing flow. So I invite you to find a spot in your room where you can place your feet. Feel that lift. You can even press up lightly on the two buttons at the base of the skull. And again, it's all light and gentle. This is subtle work. So you have that feeling as though you're hanging from the sky. And at the same time, feel your feet and take a moment to really feel what the soles of your feet feel. Don't fix anything, don't adjust anything, simply accept, because this is where we're receiving the infinite abundant support of the earth. It's like sap rising up and creating an elegant lift, the plant. We are the plant rising to the sky. And at the same time, we've got the sky suspending us. So very, very comfortable. Now, as we exhale, soften the knees. The whole body relaxes. On the inhalation, the breath and the energy fills. And we're just going to do simple with the arms. So on the inhale, the backs of the hands are floating up with the breath as the breath is lengthening the legs. And as we exhale, we're still suspended, but we're floating down, so easy, full of ease. Inhale. And today we're going to do something that the yoga police might arrest us for, but we're also going to lift the back of the shoulders. I'm going to come closer. So we're going to lift the shoulder blades up on the inhalation and see if that affords you more breath. And we're going to let the shoulder girdle relax. On the inhalation, let the shoulder girdle slide up. The back is lengthening, the chest is opening. And the whole body feels like it's sighing. Wait for the inhalation to flow up through your legs and to lift the shoulders and the hands, maybe opening the chest. And we'll do two more. Feel the breath. Let that breath, all those breathing points filling you. And then softly everything. And one more time, we're going to lift up and do a slightly, we'll do the same thing. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale, just the hands up around waist height. And then floating the hands down, unlock the knees so there's a softness. And bring the hands over the low belly. And stand quietly, adjust your feet if there's a better place for you. Remember the points of breath. We'll touch them mentally now so you really get how powerful that can be. So we're breathing into the belly, which lowers the diaphragm, and that also means up into above the collarbones. Feel that a couple of times. We're breathing into the ceiling and the floor of our respiratory system. The belly expands because the diaphragm displaces some of our lower organs. And now mentally breathe into the back of your body. We're in a relaxed fashion, no strain. Now mentally breathe into the sides of the ribs. You might find that your knees are gently pulsing. I've just noticed that that's happening. It's almost imperceptible, but it kind of feels nice. If that's happening spontaneously for you, go for it. And then we also have the sense of the sternum floating open. And now put them all together. The ribs are fanning out to the sides, the back, the sternum is fanning open, the diaphragm is going down and the lungs are going up. All of those happen, multidimensional breathing. At the same time, we're suspended by those two buttons at the base of the skull. They're going up, creating a real lightness where the skull meets the spine. And our feet are soft. All of our joints are responsive. And let's just sway like a beautiful, fresh, young bamboo. Very upright and very supple. So whatever way the winds of change, we're working with soft breezes of change right now because we want to practice where it's safe so we can build skills for times when there's a little bit more demand that might throw us off our center, and allowing this little breeze of change to come quiet, because movement and stillness complement one another. We don't want just one, just the other. We want a conversation between the two. And let's leave ourselves suspended from the sky by those two buttons at the base of the skull, our feet soft and receptive, receiving the earth, a gentle smile of inner contentment and peace, and full multidimensional breathing. And may all beings, including us and all sentient beings in all the realms, may we all experience peace in our cells, in our circulation. May we feel expansion, love, and be loved. I thank you for joining in. Many, many, many blessings to all of you. See you next time. Have a great weekend.